brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Hello, Pickle. 6:59 and 40 seconds, a little bit early. Wednesday, February the 24th. Minus 31 outside. Wind chill is not your friend this morning. But you know what? It's going to be warmer today than it will be for the rest of this week. So if you're planning on doing anything outside, today's the day to do it. Morning, Lecter.
I suppose I prefer pickle to old sausage.
Well, good. I mean, if there's a culinary element to that, do you prefer pickle to old sausage? I think I could combine them both. And then there's the greeting element to that. Do you prefer being called pickle to being called old sausage? I mean, the great joy of being British is you can call anybody anything and then just pass it off as being like, oh, that's what we do in England. As long as there's nobody else British in the room, they'll go for it.
And then Australia takes it to like the
yeah, well, Australia
degree.
just drops in several expletives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just one, I think.
And a barbecue.
Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Big day today, big day. Last game of the regular season for my indoor soccer team here in Yellowknife.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. We are locked into 12th out of 14th in the league table. Can't go any lower. What a successful season.
And you are still in one piece?
Still in one piece. I just checked. I am 129th in the goal scoring standings for the season.
Oh, wow.
Yep, with 3 goals.
Uh-huh.
About 50 places below Cabin Radio's Jill Elaine. I just happened to notice her name as I was spooling through.
Where's Jill?
She scored like a few more than me.
Yeah.
She's significantly higher up the standings.
Like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Listen, I got 3. That's 3 more than I got in the rest of my life. The rebirth of Ollie Williams as an outfield player continues.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thrilling stuff.
I thought so.
When's your first playoff game?
I don't know. As if we're paying any attention to the playoffs. That won't last very long.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
I got a little bit of energy this morning. Nicely little brewed coffee over here. We're now, 3 months into the whole coffee drinking thing? Yeah, that hasn't gone away yet.
Yeah, you're liking that.
Yeah, I'm solidly locked in now. Yeah.
Where are you at now? What, 1 cream, 1 sugar?
No, just the 1 cream.
Just 1 cream?
It's always been 1 cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a stiff start to your coffee drinking career. No sugar in there. Most people start Canadian tradition is double.
Mm.
You know, that's kind of where you start. And then you might never get away from that. But you're already no sugar, just a milk.
Yeah, I can't imagine putting sugar in this.
Oh, you're going to be drinking black coffee in no time.
I mean, but I do whenever I run out of milk.
Can you squeak that again? That was a nice little sound effect there.
Oh, no, I broke
it. Your coffee sippy cup.
You broke my sippy cup.
I'm sorry. I encouraged you to mess with it, and this is what happens.
I'm going to put it away now. We're going to turn our attention to another topic. Written on the board, and this is a holdover from yesterday that you and Wheeler did not get to, the phrase gotch watch.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I only am dimly aware of the phrase gotch as referring to one's underwear.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes. Synonym of gitch.
Okay.
I mean, synonym in that it's 1 letter different.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks somewhat like and sounds somewhat like something. Yeah. Okay. Why are we watching Gotch? Whose Gotch are we watching?
Well, there is a particular pair of blue boxers that have taken up residence along 52nd Avenue here in Yellowknife, which, as you know, if it was just any street, it would kind of be like whatever. But 52nd Avenue, like that's on Yellowknifeopoly.
Oh yeah,
that's a main drag.
It's a main drag.
So there's a lot of
bike lanes and everything on that.
Bike lanes and everything.
Like cities invested in it.
That's right.
It's a monument to the glory of municipal government.
That's right. So there's a lot of traffic up and down 52nd Avenue. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are passing by this renegade pair of gitch, gotch, ginch.
Oh, is that other of our synonyms as we're calling
Jesse calls it ginch. Yeah, he throws an N in there.
I never called it any of those things. These are all brand new to me.
What do you call it? Underwear?
Yes.
Briefs.
Well,
they're not briefs, no.
Keks, as you like to call them in the UK.
What are they?
Keks.
Keks. I've never heard that one before.
K-E-K.
K-E-K.
Yeah. Why have you left a pair of your keks in the middle of 52nd Avenue?
Nice one.
Who to use in a sentence.
Okay.
So there's a pair of blue boxes that are gradually just milling around. Now, how long has this been an issue?
This has been at least 2.5 weeks.
Ooh.
And it's just strange because, like any piece of garbage or random debris, will be removed. There's a garbage can not too far away.
But this is no garbage. This is no random debris.
This is no garbage. This is no debris. This is a definite pair of gotch that belonged to someone at some point. And it's not even like it's a, like a typical man's by the end of its lifespan, 15-year veteran pair of gotch that like are just tattered rags by the end of it. And someone made the, probably good decision to toss it aside. Maybe not necessarily in the middle of the street, but it's a good looking pair of gotch. But it's just found itself out on the street. And with no end in sight to its street living lifestyle. It moves around. It is frozen solid now. And the last I saw, it actually had begun its ascent up a close by neighboring fence.
It's beginning to sound like it has sentience.
It seems like it does, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it is. Actually, you know what? I didn't notice it this morning. I was a little tired this morning.
Well, that's when you want to be at your most careful because it sounds as though it has evolved.
Yeah.
And is now basically waiting to strike.
Yeah. Well, it could have been ascending up the fence with the intention of jumping off said fence onto an unsuspecting passerby's head.
Next thing you know, you're at Tin Can Hill, you're walking your small dog, there'll be a rustle in the bushes, and a pair of men's blue underpants will leap out and begin wrestling your dog to the ground, and you'll have to run over there and peel the underwear off it, and yeah, it'll be a whole thing.
Well, you got your Pro Links Wrestling shirt on today.
Do have my Pro Links Wrestling shirt on.
How would you feel about a Pro Gotch Wrestling?
Honestly, I'd probably be even more jazzed than I am about the Pro Links Wrestling. I would also wear that. Shout out to Janet Pacing and Sign. This is a very nicely made shirt.
It's a nice looking shirt.
It's a good looking shirt.
It's a great logo.
If you haven't seen this yet, check out Signed Pro Links Wrestling. I believe they've sold about 12 of these so far.
Wow.
In honor of Shania Tim Chadden, who, of course, was our Links wrestler of a week or two ago. Yes. Back when we had Links. Remember that?
Yeah.
A moment for the Links. And a moment for the underwear. It's nice to know that someone's still carrying the torch for weird predatory stuff in Yellowknife. We still got some underwear out there. Lecter, will you continue Gotch Watch for us?
It's, I will.
Just keep an eye on proceedings.
Yeah.
Neighborhood Gotch.
Yeah, missed out this morning, but I'll be back tomorrow.
See, you didn't see it. It sure saw you.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
Ollie and Lecter with you on your Wednesday morning, the last day of reasonably decent weather for a little while, so cram everything in today before you then have to go and snuggle up inside for a few more days. You know how it goes. It is, after all, Yellowknife in the middle of February, although it's almost March already. This year.
Yeah.
I know it's such a trite thing to say, but it's flying by.
I had to start tempering Sibs' expectations a little bit earlier this morning. I came in and we were talking about the weather and how tomorrow it's going to be like a high of minus 30.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, just blew past this weekend. She's like, next weekend's looking okay. She's like, it's like minus 16, minus 17. And, kind of had like a glimmer of hope in her eye that like this was like a corner turning perhaps like weekend as we head into early March. Like surely spring is just around the corner. She's like, things are looking up. I was like, you might want to temper those expectations, Sib. Still about, mid to late April.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, April still has plenty of potential
hold steady.
Yeah, to kick some derriere. And also, like, who possibly has any faith in the forecast beyond a week from now?
Oh, those with eternal hope and optimism.
Like you go to like the AccuWeather website or something and there's like the long-term forecast that'll tell you the next 30 days. And you think, what possible odds are there that this will be the actual weather? Yeah. Bearing in mind that often the weather is like 5 degrees out on the morning.
Right.
That it was supposed to be happening.
They should add like question marks to long-range forecast, and like the longest range forecast, just add like 3 question marks. Like,
we have a shrug emoji these days. Let's just start throwing that on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, just toss that in there. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? By the end of March, you never know. The weather might be quite nice. We might also have a travel bubble.
Oh,
with the Yukon. Yeah, they were talking about this yesterday. Now, the Beaufort Delta in particular is very keen to get this going because, of course, you got a nice, lovely road to the Yukon up there.
Yeah.
And at the moment, can't go unless you get an exemption.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of enthusiasm up there to get it going because the Yukon doesn't have a BC bubble anymore.
Okay.
So that's
Smart. Yeah.
stopped before Christmas.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't have a bubble with them last year.
Right.
Was because they were open to BC and we didn't want to have any of that nonsense.
Right.
So we said, nope.
This was when BC was still like doing all right.
Yeah. And that ship has sailed.
That ship sailed. Yeah.
And so the Yukon shut that one down.
Yeah.
And they've got some sort of special arrangement in place with Alaska that people can like pass through on the way to Alaska, but like don't hang around, don't dawdle.
Crossing a country border. Wow.
Yeah, no, can you imagine? I've got
How'd they navigate that?
dim and distant memories of seeing other countries.
Yeah.
I don't entirely know how they're managing that. Anyway, there is much talk that we could be getting a Yukon bubble.
That's very exciting.
See, now is it? That is
You're
one
not excited about that?
Well, I feel like I'm slightly at the end of my rope when it comes to getting excited about travel bubbles.
Ah.
You know?
Because they just pop just like that?
Well, and they're also, like, it's not that I'm unexcited about the Yukon.
Are you bursting our bubble? Ollie?
No, I'm just massaging it threateningly.
I don't think bubbles can withstand that.
No, they probably can't, can they? That's just really just another way of saying bursting. I just, like, I've never been to the Yukon. I would be quite excited to go to the Yukon, but it just is all so, it's a bit sad, isn't it? That we sort of,
That we live in this current climate that we're in. Yes.
The most we have to look forward to here. Because we are days away, Lecter, from all the first anniversary coverage that's going to be rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that all going to be depressing?
Yeah.
Because you know that newsrooms are not going to be able to resist because everybody loves an anniversary, guaranteed, easy news story.
Yep.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, it was a year ago today. And what possible reaction are we supposed to have to that? Oh, I remember that. Put me out of my misery. Like, what reaction is that supposed to elicit? And I promise faithfully right now, Cabin Radio is not going to do any anniversary coverage of like things starting. Nope.
Not going to go for that low-hanging fruit.
Not doing it because it's terrible.
I mean, you got some great sound bites from that day.
Yeah. No. I know I do. No, Ollie, no. An internal wrestling match broke out. No. I just, like, it's not that we shouldn't remember, like, tragic and sad events. Like, when you think about 9/11 or the ending of wars or the beginning of wars, there are reasons we remember those things.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, I don't know that while we're still in this one, like, I don't know, in 1940... were all the newspapers printing like, it's a year since this war began. Like, yeah, we're still in it. Thanks. I mean, I don't know, like, if the anniversary coverage was really all that welcomed.
Yeah.
By the people who were still fighting in the war at the time.
Probably not, because things were pretty dicey. Around that
it
time.
wasn't great.
No, it wasn't going well.
It ain't exactly great right now. I mean, it's getting better.
Yeah.
You look at some of the charts, and like for example, the US is way better than it was even a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
In terms of like number of cases, number of deaths a day. Like the numbers are looking better. More people are getting vaccinated. Things are improving. I'm not necessarily sure that our mental health collectively has followed suit yet.
No, I think that's taken a hit.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. You know what's going to be the most interesting about, if someone did decide to, put together a 1 year ago today, just like the social shift from, especially up here in the NWT, when we were talking about this not too long, actually yesterday, when the Arctic Winter Games, they announced that it was not going to go ahead, and it was like March 5th or whatever it was. And we were, I think I was at the Woodyard celebrating a friend's birthday. We're all sitting shoulder to shoulder, and everyone, the thought was, oh, wow, they're really jumping the gun on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week later, it's like, oh, no, that was probably appropriate.
Yeah. A phenomenally wise decision. Otherwise, we would have sent hundreds and hundreds of kids from around the world into one big room at precisely the time that we should not have been doing that.
Yeah. But just that shift from, like initial reaction and then learning more and being like, oh God, this is bad.
And it took like a week to make that shift. It was a pretty quick shift in the grand scheme of things. So, that's why when we talk of travel bubbles, that's very last summer.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a travel bubble with Nunavut. Like, what? Great. Like, it lasted a few months, and then it wasn't there anymore, and I don't know that many people who rushed to take advantage of it. Yeah, it'd be nice just to have one big bubble.
Although I remember thinking all last summer it would have been really nice to have a travel bubble with the Yukon because, much like you, I have never been, and I would love to go. And that seemed like a perfect time and excuse to go because you couldn't go anywhere else.
You know what? If it tides us over, if between April and June it's white horse or bust, then yeah, you know what? I can live with that.
Cabin vacay.
Oh, all right. You've talked me into it.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Ollie here in Studio 1 alongside Mr. Scott Leckerman. How you doing this morning, Lecter?
I am a little sleepy this morning. I was a bad boy and stayed up past my bedtime last night.
Oh, how late?
Like 10:30.
Oh, okay. All right, listen. I had a soccer game that didn't even finish till 10:30.
Wow.
So, you know.
Yeah.
I'm also very tired, is really what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I was trying to go.
You're hiding it a lot better than I am.
Yeah, well, that's the coffee effect. You see, when you've only been drinking this coffee for 3 months instead of 30 years,
right?
You'd be amazed. Like, it still packs a kick every morning.
Yeah.
It still, it delivers the full whack.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm about halfway there. One cup in. I need another pot or so. Yeah.
So this could be your life every day. If only you decided, like, to have a farm, which is the new thing.
Oh?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's first of all, the Northwest Territories would really like you to have a farm.
Okay.
They got a whole agriculture strategy thing going on. They gave some money away to people yesterday. They're all big on like, yeah, let's do farming. We do farming now. Let's find something good from climate change. Everything's going to melt, then we're going to farm it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But there's a lot of chat about chickens these days. In particular. And the owning
and
of
not
chickens.
Just KFC, you're talking.
The rearing, no, alive chickens, briefly, at least.
Yeah.
The rearing of chickens, like, increasingly seems to be a thing.
Oh.
Sarah Price of this good office is very interested in this right now.
Yeah, that tracks.
Is like sniffing around for chicken tips. Well, I mean that's essentially that's what Penny does on a daily basis is sniffs around for chicken tips.
Yeah,
tips of chickens. Interestingly, Megan Brackenbury. Now I believe Brack's family owns chickens.
Oh, really?
And the reason I know this is Sarah Price actually overheard Megan Brackenbury in conversation with her family about the chickens last night.
Ooh, gossip.
Let me dig up the precise remark. So Sarah recounting to me, Megan on the phone to her parents talking about the family chickens, quote, "Why do you have such an inability to keep them from getting killed?" End quote. So that sounds like it's going well.
Yeah.
But I mean, first of all, I'm fascinated to know how cabin radio dog Penny would handle that situation. I
can't see her killing a chicken.
Well, no, I can't either.
No.
I could see her absolutely feeling like, I feel like she would have the initial instinct.
Yeah.
Something would kick in that would be like, oh, I should kill that.
Yeah.
But it would be immediately followed by the garbage is way easier. And like, it's just less hassle. I'm just going to like, that thing's clearly alive. It could probably do some damage. I'm just going to lie on my back and wait for somebody else to kill it and then feed it to me.
Yeah, I think Penny is very much of our modern day society where she's very all about the food that it lays in front of her, but not about, discovering where that food may have came from.
Yeah, she's less of a hunter-gatherer in the traditional sense and more of a hunter-gatherer in the I will hunt it and gather it once it has been appropriately waylaid and packaged.
Yes.
Yeah. Like me, for example.
Yeah.
I just do it at a grocery store. She does it in the kitchen garbage.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm interested in this. I don't know that I would want to keep chickens. I like the noise. There seems to be a lot of mess. But goats, sign me up.
You do love goats. Yeah.
I love goats.
Yeah.
There is one animated GIF, I will never call it GIF, that is of a goat just entering the scene. And I cannot do this justice. I have it bookmarked. I've had it bookmarked for about 15 years.
Right.
And any time I need a pick-me-up, it's the first thing I turn to.
Is it a goat scream?
No, it's a silent little video of just a goat entering the scene.
Okay.
Just like there's a few goats just hanging around, and then this one goat just sachets into view from the bottom of the picture.
Uh-huh.
Enters from the bottom of the video screen and just bounds in, leaps clean over one goat without even breaking stride. Just goes boing, 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 boing,
Oh, yeah.
Straight over one goat, arrives in front of the human being, spins round, bounces back over the same goat, launches itself onto the next goat, does like a star kick, shoves that goat over, spins around in midair, lands again, and presents. And it is just the greatest entrance in the history of man or beast. And anytime, no matter what's happening to me, anytime I need just to be picked up a little bit and just to be told, Ollie, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
I just need to open that up and remind myself that there are goats out there who are capable of that kind of entrance.
Just laying waste to all other surrounding goats.
Laying waste to all the other goats. Just like we've all met human beings like that goat.
Yes.
And you look at them and you're like, oh, all right. Are you done?
Yeah.
And that goat is oblivious to the fact that everybody else is like, oh, it's that goat.
Not everyone can make an entrance like that.
No, that goat is just like, yeah, what? All right, haters gonna hate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dusts itself off. And
I would own a goat like that.
yeah. Well, you've talked about going on vacation with a goat, like traveling across the country.
Well, why
with a goat.
Why would you not want to travel the country with a goat?
I don't know. Probably not housebroken or car broken.
Yeah, but you can account for that.
Yeah.
You can like,
Wait, you put a diaper on it?
sure. Well, I mean, that is one way of doing it. I mean, people might, you might become that guy wandering around Walmart in a strange town with a goat wearing a diaper. You would get a lot of news coverage.
I mean, I'm sure just bringing a goat into a Walmart would... It's probably frowned
come on.
upon.
It's a Walmart. I've seen worse.
You might let it slide. Yeah. As long as your goat's wearing a mask.
There's got to be some goat-friendly stores. I bet you if you look online, there's a website that lists goat-friendly stores. And we'll go to those stores instead. You know, I'm not going to stand for any of this. You can't rule out my goat. You can't tell my goat no. It's that goat. That goat does not get told no.
It's wearing a diaper.
Yeah. You say it can't come in, wait till you see its entrance. Just let it try to come in once. I promise you will not be disappointed. Goat, do your stuff. It's got to come in. It's got to leap off a cashier's head. It's going to be great.
Don't those Walmart greeters put up with enough, Ollie? They don't need that.
Without having been star-kicked by a goat. Oh, all right, fine. Still beats a chicken, though, doesn't it?
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Also in the studio now, Sarah Price. Morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
You missed our chicken chat.
Chickens?
Oh, there we go. I told you. What did I tell you?
Wow.
Yeah, all right. I know.
What did you say about the chickens? I need to know.
We were just discussing that you were quite interested in the whole,
Oh, you were talking about me?
acquisition of chickens.
Well, we were talking about you eavesdropping on Brack.
Oh, yes.
We were discussing that, you have ambitions in the chicken sphere.
Yes, I do.
And that maybe we shouldn't be getting tips from the family Brackenbury.
No, it doesn't sound like their chickens stay alive very long.
No, okay. And what are your chicken plans?
I don't fully know yet. I would just like maybe 2 or 3 chickens. I don't think that I would like to raise them from little baby chicks. That seems like a lot of work.
Is this ever since you fostered 2 puppies?
No, this is ever since I talked to someone who has incubated chicks and raised them from scratch. No, so I would like just a couple chickens ready to lay eggs, and then I will give them a nice little home in my backyard.
Okay.
That's my plan.
Okay. Little coop, little heated coop for the winter. And
Yes.
how long do they live?
I don't know.
Yeah, you should probably look that up. Feels like otherwise there's potential to make a commitment there that may later on.
I feel like they lay eggs for 3 to 5 years-ish. So I don't think they've got a huge lifespan.
Apparently they live for 5 to 10 years. That's quite a variance. 5 years of,
humans live for 20 to 70 years. You'd be like, oh, hang on a minute. There's quite a, you're giving me quite a range there. All right, 5 to 10 years. So it could be a 5-year thing, could be a 10-year thing. So a few eggs each morning. Quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think the tricky thing about having chickens up here is it's difficult to get the food and everything that you need because it's expensive to get it
Oh,
shipped
come
out.
on. They can eat any old nonsense, can't they? What do they need? Quinoa? I mean, come on.
I think you have to give them oysters or something so that they have
Oysters?
Wow.
Oyster shells. Sorry.
I don't think that makes it any... Who are
Shells.
these chickens that you're trying to...
These are coastal chickens. So west or east coast.
Yeah, you need to give them something for calcium, I guess.
If it's not lobster thermidor, the chickens aren't even getting up in the morning.
Corn?
Wow.
What is this
What
corn
is this corn?
feed?
Yeah. So the least you could do is create some sort of souffle. Maybe then we'll be persuaded. I don't know, souffle's got eggs in them. What? That seems like ethically dicey at that point. Anyway.
I'm just picturing a chicken slurping back an oyster now.
I didn't mean the oysters themselves. I meant the shells. Yeah, you can buy
put a little hot sauce on there.
Yeah, anyways, this, I don't know if I will actually do this or not. I'm just looking into it with great interest at the moment.
Now, earlier we were discussing this, and I'm firmly of the opinion that there are better animals to keep than chickens.
Like?
Could I persuade you to get a goat?
Are you allowed to have those?
Kind of into it. Of course you're allowed to have goats. People have got goats in town.
Who has a goat in town?
There used to be goats right downtown.
Yeah, there used to be downtown goats. Then they killed and ate half of them. But then the other half got moved out to, I think, Dr. Peach. I think he's got some land just
I would have guessed
town.
Arctic Farmer, but...
Yeah, I may be completely off base with that, and the Peach household may be like, what do you mean we got goats? Like, looking under the table.
We have goats?
Like,
where?
Yeah.
What does a goat do for you, though?
It entertains you greatly.
Yeah, but it doesn't provide anything.
It grazes, on the rich grasslands of the north.
On all my vegetables.
Yeah.
My garden.
It does essentially what Penny does for you. Why have you got Penny kicking around if it's a whole, what does this animal do for me?
Provide?
Snuggles.
That's true.
You can snuggle a goat. It might admittedly headbutt you every now and again, but you can try.
I think I'd be more into, a sheep.
A sheep is just a boring goat.
But no, I'm leaning towards chickens.
A sheep is just a goat that's lost the will. No, you want a goat.
My parents are probably listening to this being like, what is she thinking?
Listen, your parents can't speak. We know about your parents. Your parents' farming habits have already been well documented on Mornings at the Cabin. Okay.
Good product, too.
I feel like if I work on you, you're going to get a goat. This is exciting news. All right. Well, that's all I needed to hear. Sarah, thanks for stopping by there and committing to owning a goat.
Chickens.
Fine. Lovely to have your company as ever.
Well, I try.
Yep. Would you ever consider getting a goat?
Nah.
Okay. Some work to do. If you out there either A, own a goat, or B, would consider owning a goat, maybe we can go to some sort of goat timeshare. That's a thing, right? Let me know. Ollie at cabinradio.ca. I will gladly entertain those inquiries. Beats the usual stuff we get into the Cabin Radio inbox. I'll tell you that for free.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.